Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. We just got done rambling about Splatfest for like
an hour,
and we learned that Steven has opinions. And we played Ace Attorney and Kingdom Hearts today, and Steven still has to eat. So I figured, why not play this?
Also, you didn't want to watch a video, so...
I didn't want to watch a video. Yeah. Other than that, because we still have some stuff to talk about, surprisingly. Now, some may ask, why are you using the N64 emulated online version and not the 3D All-Stars version? Because in this version, you can do the backwards long jump.
I was going to say laziness.
Well, that too, but in this version, you can do the backwards long jump.
Could you not?
No, not in the All-Stars version. Refamiliarizing controls. Okay, I'm good. Alright. This is a very popular game for speedrunning, for those that somehow didn't know.
This is also the inspiration for the Speed Demon thing in the Something About games. I mean, Something About videos.
Yeah.
Terminal montage.
Yeah. Terminal montage. I know that YouTube right now. As you can see, I'm very good at this game, as I have failed to do stuff. It's also really hot out here. So, well, anything else happened in the past week that we didn't, or past 2 weeks that we didn't cover?
Trying to remind myself about some things.
I'm also using individual joy
What was that in the last few weeks?
We watched Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. Separately, not
separately, yeah. I went out of town, up to my cabin, in Eastland. Any news that has happened?
I'm trying to hard to remember.
Spider-Verse came out on home video. Or Spider-Verse 2.
Yeah.
Digitally, you can buy it.
Yeah.
Blu-ray comes out on September 5th. Microsoft's closing down the Xbox 360 store next year. To all those games that'll be lost of time forever. Other than that,
Blue Beetle came out, I guess.
Blue Beetle came out. I haven't seen it. I hope it bombs so that the DCU can have 7 bombs in a row. That's not a joke. Like, 6 of the DC movies have bombed in a row. And it's funny. Switch 2 rumors are ramping up again. Because of course they are.
Yeah.
Some people think that it won't have backwards compatibility because some publishers are concerned that it might have an effect on sales. Which is stupid. Eesh. Other than that, it's been slow. I don't know. Jonathan got back from Mexico and he's still dead.
Good for him.
Amazing. Shut up. Quiet week, huh? Quiet week.
I watched a 2-hour-long video on the lore of Street Fighter.
Why?
Sounded interesting. Honestly, kind of was.
My sister fucking... my sister is almost done with watching Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
She has been converted to not Family Guy fan status, almost.
Supposedly Family Guy's also getting its resurgence right about now.
In terms of, like, quality, or...
Yeah.
I mean, I watched, like, the last few episodes of the most recent season, and the first thing I saw was an outdated reference. Because, you know, they take, like, 50 years to make.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, it was Squid Game. And that was popular in, like, 2021. Whereas, this episode came out in 2023. You know. Yeah. Man, this is...
I'm sorry, but...
Got it. No, I don't. Yeah, I do.
I'm trying my hardest to think of things I did over the last few weeks. I guess the most notable thing is school starting back up.
We both started school on separate days.
And
I was late on my first day.
I'm seeming to change jobs.
Oh, really? Where?
If everything goes right, I'm going to start working where Kevin works at.
Night shift or?
Day shift.
Okay. Man, that would have been crazy.
They don't allow siblings to work at the same time.
That's actually smart.
Yeah.
I don't think it's this staircase you can pull it off on, but... I'm not gonna try. Well, I was up with Toy Hard. Well, okay, I just dodged my cabin. You can rent it out for yourself on a website. I'm not going to provide the link. You're going to have to find it yourself. But I went up there, and it was nice.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Not gonna lie, I'm much more used to the DS version of this game.
Yeah. I played this version growing up, even though I was a 2000s kid. I downloaded it on the Wii through Virtual Console. And I bought a fucking classic controller just to play it. I just got smashed. Not the good kind. Yeah. So, up there, I don't know, I did some stuff. Did it. Up in the mountains, I went to a lake, as I mentioned. I did not mean to do that. I got wet by jumping straight into the lake off a diving board. It was cold, and I felt exhausted. And my sister was like, oh, come on, I don't want to go in there, it's cold. As in, jump off the diving board, and I was like, it's not that cold. Said, and it was that cold. Yeesh. Food here?
Not quite yet.
Alright.
It's almost here though. 3 minutes away. I need the energy, because my god do I not have energy.
One day I will pour water on you.
Thing is, it really is just me not having much sleep. I got like 4 hours, remember?
Yeah. Yeah, and also, my family has been I've talked about with my family about potentially visiting New York in 2025.
Huh.
And some may say, why that long? When you're this broke, you have to plan these things that long in advance.
A coworker of mine went out to Disney.
Disneyland, or?
I don't know. I think it was World.
Ah, it's in Florida.
All I know is the bastard came back with a pen that was shaped like Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. Lucky asshole.
Let's see.
Also, I'm pretty sure like my coworkers have acknowledged that he's basically one of the richer coworkers.
Ah.
Oh yeah, there was one thing that happened.
What?
There was a new store that opened up at the mall
What is it?
called Sakaido.
Ah.
As you can tell, it's basically it's an anime store.
Ah. I haven't noticed, but I haven't been there in a bit. So I wouldn't know.
Well, I visited it, and it was honestly pretty cool. I'll show you this one cigarette.
Alright. Yahoo! Yahoo!
Technically, I went there earlier.
Hmm. I have the worst position in this game. I really wish I had a pro controller on me that was fully charged. But alas, we can't have nice things in the world. Yeah, unless... Oh, no, I left it at my other house. Never mind. Nah. Okay. Ah! My God. Oh. Okay, maybe I shouldn't do this level. At least for now. Mamma mia. I did remember something that happened, and it's weirdly funny. Also kind of sad, but see what I mean? Yahoo! Ow. Avoid footprints. Alright. I also remember one thing that happened in the past couple of weeks. But I'll wait till you're done with sharing what you guys to say.
Yeah.
About that new anime store.
So, like, originally I visited on last Saturday, you know, the one before yesterday.
Yeah.
Because me and my coworkers, who are all interested in anime, got out at the same time, and one of them, Sean, told us about the store. And when they found out that I was also leaving at the same time because they had arrived earlier than me, they invited me over. They invited me to come along. I went along, and I decided I wanted to show Kevin. So we went there, like me and Kevin, like on Thursday. And originally I wasn't planning on spending anything, but then Kevin got me to, and this is what I bought.
What the hell is that?
A figure of Nami in a costume from One Piece Film Red. She's one of the main Straw Hats.
Let's see. I know little about One Piece. Other than it's literally 1,000 episodes.
Stop and think about it. I'm pretty sure Pokemon is also around that like number.
I know. I think it definitely is.
I don't remember if they got to that before Ash's Adventure ended the camping. Must be.
Also, one thing I did remember that happened within the past few weeks, my sister got banned from Tinder.
Oh, damn.
I kid you not.
How?
I don't know. Like, she just... Like, earlier that day, she showed me her profile so I could judge it. And then, like, she logs on later in the day and she just gets a note saying, "You've been banned for violating the terms of service." And I'm like, "What did you do?" She's like, "I don't know." And she told me that was the second time she's gotten banned from a dating app.
Maybe they think she's underage.
She's 19.
Yeah, maybe you think.
Nah. I don't think it's that, but it's weird, but funny.
Don't they usually send emails telling you why you've been banned?
I don't know. I haven't gotten banned myself, so I wouldn't know. But she also told me that she found our cousin on there, and that was horrifying.
What, it was horrifying to find a cousin on, like, one of the few ways people date nowadays?
More so horrifying to find, like, a family member on there.
Well, what would have been horrifying is if she swiped left. I mean, right.
Yeah. I did download Tinder at some point, and I used it for a bit, and I found a literal goose on there, named Jesus. As in, like, Jesus, but goose. And of course I had to swipe right. But, nothing happened past that.
Nothing ever came out of it.
Sadly. It was a beautiful goose.
Oh, I also watched a 4-hour-long video on We Love Zach and Cody. That was a lot of fun.
I remember that show. I was never that into it. Just, I didn't really care for live action.
I was really into it. That was usually one of her Disney shows.
I was never really into live action TV.
No, that was I, but it was a live action comedy I tended to enjoy it. So I enjoy things like Drake and Josh pretty easily.
Never watched that show.
The less melodramatic and less serious, the more easy it was for me to enjoy. Because I treated them basically like live action cartoons.
I see.
And in the cases of things like Ned's Classified, they acted like it too.
Yeah. But you know, some things only work in animation, and some things only work in live action. And stuff. So yeah, my sister told me this was the second time she got banned from a dating app. The first was an app called Hinge. I'm like, how'd you get banned off there? She's like, I don't know.
Maybe they have so many good cosplayers or something.
That'd be fun. So now she's using Bumble.
I tried looking for a relationship, but I don't have the confidence in myself.
I've met one person on Tinder, and I still talk to them. I don't know how much that says about me. But then I one day stopped talking, but on a frequent basis. And then, yeah. Gosh, a narrow bridge. Hey. And I can't wait for her to get banned from a third dating app.
Maybe they think she's faking her identity.
Why? Other than those stuff that's happened, I don't know. I played a bit of Five Nights at Freddy's, and it's a game. People were like, man, this game's not scary. And they're right. Anyway, you guys ready for the movie that's coming out? That's gonna be a peak movie. Of course. I mean, I guess back when we were playing Banjo-Kazooie, we were ranting about the Danganronpa series, and we never talked about Ultra Despair Rules of E3, so we can continue that.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So we made our thoughts clear on 1 and 2. They're games, alright. But for those who want the 2 London and Reed version, one is still the best. One is the best one in the series. I think we both agreed on that.
Yeah.
And
2 is good, but very flawed.
Yeah. And I really suck at this game apparently.
Anytime I play a platformer.
Yeah. I just want to say I'm blaming it on the fact that I have to use Joy-Cons because both my controllers are good. Wait.
Couldn't you use the adapter?
The GameCube adapter?
No, the adapter to, like, put the Joy-Cons inside.
Oh, nah. So, there's that. Also, my sister is saying that Danganronpa is getting popular again on TikTok, and now I'm scared. That means the Naruto fans are coming back. I
think it stay dead.
I gotta make sure to buy a gun at some point. Anyway,
I don't have much of an opinion on Ultra Despair Rules. You can say that much.
Really? Who's there? Oh, yeah, it's my dad.
I never even bothered to like pay close attention to a Let's Play, let alone play it.
I played it myself on Steam. So we start off with our normal high school girl, Kamaru.
Like, I occasionally paid attention, but I'm not gonna lie, I was half asleep to most of that Let's Play.
Yeah. We start with our new protagonist, normal high school girl, Kamaru Naegi. Sister.
And unlike Makoto, she actually is a normal girl.
Oh, what?
A normal high school girl.
Yeah. The game really wants to make sure you know that she is a normal high school girl. Like, they won't shut up about it.
And you can tell by the fact that she reacts like a normal person more often than not.
Yeah. I remember I made the mistake of having that be my first Danganronpa game I played. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And, but I recognized the voice actors, because I was playing the English dub, as I normally do. And I recognized it, and I was like, is that Makoto Nijima from Persona 5? So I looked it up, and it was. So what do you know? And that's not the only cross-series voice actor they share. But yeah, Kamaru's been in captivity for a year and a half, but then she gets busted by a Monokuma.
By the way, her parents are almost certainly dead.
Definitely. I'd be surprised if they lived.
The game, I don't remember if the game ever brings it up, but yeah. That's out of the opening credits, I mean.
Yeah. Monokuma comes in, and we did the first of the many empty shots in the game. That game was a weirdly large amount.
Especially for a game where a good chunk of the major cast are children.
Yeah. So,
and unfortunately, there's a reason why.
Unfortunately. What was the mission? So, Kamaru encounters everyone's favorite asshole, Byakuya Tagami, and we've made our opinions on him very clear. But in case you missed it, I'm not a fan of the character. I'm not a fan of characters whose entire personality is, I'm an asshole.
That's shown by my complete inability to like Gilgamesh. Tagami is... He technically gets better by the anime, but...
Yeah, the first game already was bad enough for me, so I don't trust him.
Yeah, like, his personality is definitely improved by the time of the the 3 anime, but like, that doesn't change the fact that that's the anime and not the games. And spends most of the games being a complete total asshole.
Again, I've never liked characters who are like, I'm just an asshole and nothing else.
Which is, of course, why you hate most of the cast going forward.
Yeah. Alright, so...
Because just as bad as being just a total asshole and nothing else is just being one character trait and nothing else.
Yeah. And now, we got...
we should bring this up because people love to just ignore it.
What?
Sakura's boyfriend is in Ultra Despair Girls.
Oh yeah, wasn't he still alive? Or...
Yeah, he was still alive! The guy had a terminal illness, and like he's been fighting this without any medical attention for an entire year, and he's still kicking ass. Say what you will, but I 100% believe Sakura when she says there's only one person she's never been able to beat, and it's her boyfriend. Like, if he has this level of strength, no, I can believe her when she says he's the actual strongest.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you take us to take literal, like, a life-threatening disease and somehow still go around beating things that, like, in the universe are considered really overpowered and broken as all fuck, like the Monokumas?
Because Danganronpa made sense.
Also, Celeste Cat is also there. Because,
I remember that.
Because the thing about it is that the characters that you find in throughout Ultra Despair Girls that aren't, like, repeats or main bad guys are mostly, like, the most beloved people of the like, the main characters from the first game.
You got Asahina's brother, who, spoiler alert, dies within, like, 20 seconds. Chihiro's dad, who, spoiler alert, dies within, like, 5 minutes. And then
honestly, some of these characters should have survived.
Yeah.
I know, if I remember correctly, Sakura's boyfriend actually does survive the entire way through, right?
Yeah, I think so.
It was like, the man just kind of keeps fighting.
Yeah.
So, respect to that guy. I thought you were going for the poll.
Yeah, I think it was the poll. Well, I was kind of close.
You weren't even, like, aimed, like, directly at it.
Yeah. So yeah, Tomorrow hides in a restaurant to shoot some people. And then she gets into a helicopter. I'm super abridging this, but
I remember all this from that the most recent thing I've watched involving Ultra Despair Girls.
It's a bad video.
Yeah.
I'll get to that in a bit, but then Tomorrow gets on a helicopter.
Not gonna lie, I still love that whole Sunny bit.
Yeah.
That shit was hilarious.
Oh, I made it. So Tomorrow gets on the helicopter, she dies, and then she meets everyone else's favorite character, Nagito Komaeda, or as everyone likes to call him, or as he's called in this game, the Servant. Fuck that guy still. You cannot take my opinions on that.
Yeah.
And it's here we meet the
Which is why I like the fact that even though the words of Hope, like, outright hate him.
Yeah. And it's here we meet the Warriors of Hope. And we got Masaru, I don't know their last names. Masaru, the Little Ultimate PE. Nagisa, Little Ultimate Social.
By the way, can we talk about how these titles don't make any fucking sense?
It's like ultimate school subject. Well,
what the fuck does that mean, huh?
If that's the case, I'm the ultimate Itish class all the time. At least
is there an ultimate lunch period?
They're an ultimate fucking how the fuck do you get best at social studies? Oh, wait, isn't that just history?
John, there are actual schools you can give these kids now, right?
Yeah. The Little Ultimate, or Jotaro, the Little Ultimate Art, I think.
Yeah.
And...
I think so. But, like, I was gonna say, another annoying part is the fact that, like, half the kids are basically, like, relatives of Hope's Peak, like, Like people? Like people who specifically work for Hope's Peak.
Yeah.
So it really makes zero fucking sense that they even count. I feel like nepotism's a bitch here.
Yeah. What if I pick this one? Oh well. That's funny seeing me fail. Other than that, we got Toe to Toe, a little ultimate drama. And Monica, the little ultimate homeroom, I think.
Which makes even less sense than everything else.
And they're like
homeroom doesn't mean shit. It just means the first class you go to in the day.
Yeah, and everyone has their things like their fighter, mage, warrior. That's all that's comes to the top of my head. Sage maybe. But mage and sage different. I don't. Fucking hell.
Ancient wisdom. Do you not have rewind on the N64 one?
Nope. You can make save states, but that's it.
Maybe it's because of how big the game is.
Yeah.
You know what you're saying?
Yeah. They have classes. I don't remember all of them. And we watched this one very funny parody video. I highly recommend it. That definitely says, it's definitely canon, by the way. It says the Warriors of Hope had a 6 number, but he decided to become a shut-in and live the rest of his life in his headspace. and if you guys don't get the reference,
what are you gonna do? Why are you not watching our best series?
Yeah, don't watch the Amori playthrough. Please.
I'm sure we rushed the ever-living hell out of that last bit, but that means we just couldn't stop. We wanted to see the rest.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to see the rest. He'd already seen it.
Yeah. Oh well. And besides, I'm pretty sure I made it clear from the beginning we weren't going to be seeing everything.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, stay tuned for the 10-hour compilation on that series. Anyway, so if you don't get the joke, or that video referenced like Amori, they saying Sonny used to be a fucking a warrior of hope. And I was like, yeah, that fits. I actually watched that video when it came out, and at that time I had not played Amori yet. So, everything just kind of flew over my head. So, and then I played Amori, and then I rewatched the video, and then I got every single reference. But there's one scene where Sonny comes out because you got something in the toy box, and then all the warriors were like, wait, is that a fucking knife?
Well, now Kotoko was really happy to see him.
Fake hair. Oh, I'm not doing it right. You see, this is a reference to the fact that don't watch the series.
Is it just a DS thing, or because I thought for sure because in the DS one you can do the stars out of order even if you're not doing that mission.
Oh, you can do them out of order. You just have to find them.
Yeah.
Just gotta make sure you find them. So yeah, tomorrow gets thrust into their stupid game. And there she meets everyone's favorite lunatic, Genocide Jack. Or Genocide Joe. It kind of flip-flops in the first game.
Yeah. Or in the Japanese version, Genocide Show.
Yeah. Just have one name and stick with it, is my advice. Oh my god, it's the slide theme. Print that shit up to 11. Oh, the volume's at 13.
Better yet, don't have it so that your serial killer name involves an actual gendered name.
Genocide Jack.
Most serial killers in real life don't have outside of Jack the Ripper, I can't think of a single one that has that type of name. You get things like the Night Stalker or the Golden Gate Killer and stuff like that.
Yeah. Other than that, she finally gets some actual character development. And that's mainly showing
Unabomber and stuff like that.
What?
But basically, I'm saying serial killer names tend to be a lot more based on what the fuck they've done,
Yeah.
or where they kill and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Toko finally gets some character development, and that is, we get to see her fantasies.
And in real life, if Genocide was an actual killer in real life, going by her methodology and stuff like that, she'd get a name like the Pretty Boy Killer or the Scissor Slasher. Because, yeah, they'd notice things like her only targeting pretty boys or her using only scissors to kill.
Yeah. Well, Danganronpa loves to run rampant on artistic licenses, so...
I just feel like it should be more like just creative than trying to rip off Jack the Ripper.
Yeah. But oh well, we got what we got. There's no changing it, unfortunately. And so we did see Toko's fantasies, and it's here. She clearly has a. How do I phrase this? Submission fetish.
Yeah.
Something like that. And
she's a masochist.
Yeah, and Kamaru's just confused. As she has every right to be. I forget how horny that game can be sometimes. Sometimes for the wrong reasons.
Kamaru should be confused because she's an absolutely ordinary high school girl.
Yeah.
Not like high schoolers are some of the biggest perverts out there.
As someone who did the funny while in high school, I can validate that statement. So yeah, she goes on a journey with her hacking gun and Toko by her side, and she comes across the first boss of. Because like there's 5 chapters instead of 6 in this one, and each one ends in a boss battle against a warrior.
The thing what's notable about Toko is that there's basically only 2 ways to get into her heart. Either be like Byakuya, a complete asshole, or somehow work your way through it like Makoto does in his like friendship route thing.
Yeah.
Where it's implied that she starts getting some feelings, but like only implied. Only just because they don't want to actually change her character, and all that stuff is basically just not important.
Name a character who wasn't implied to get feelings from Makoto.
The characters of 2 and 3.
Okay, that's fair.
Except for Nagito. Nagito was definitely implied to have feelings for Makoto.
That's fun. But he's older than Makoto, so it's pedophilia, some people may say. They're both adults.
I mean, barely.
Barely, but... Yeah. 1. Now I remember you have to... Yeesh. So I think the first boss was Masaru, aka the red one. And you know,
which makes sense. Stupid probably should be easiest.
Yeah, and we also got to briefly meet Asahina's brother
honestly, probably shouldn't have even bothered trying to do what he did.
Yeah, and then he fucking died. And Kamaru and Toto's reaction were literally just, oh no! Anyways. Yeah, you saw where that was going. So yeah, they boss fight. Masaru dies totally.
So there's an important note. I don't think a single Warrior Hope actually dies.
I know.
At any point in the franchise.
But it's implied they die.
The implication is there just to make Kamaru feel bad, but in reality, these kids are very much just like probably the safest in the entire franchise.
Yeah.
Even Monica, who shoots herself up into space, which should have been should have been like a moment of death for her. Let's be honest here, is ever able to still be alive by the finale of the fucking anime.
Maybe the spaceship explodes someday. That's my new headcanon. The spaceship just exploded one day. They win. Monster doesn't win. And then bam, we get to go to chapter 2. The girls travel to the sewers. And it's shown that, I'm pretty sure it's shown here that, or at some point, Tomorrow likes manga, and is therefore a lead.
Yeah, I think most people have extrapolated that her golden life probably would have been to become a manga because of that trait.
Yeah.
Where do you go?
I'm working on it. And then we meet another character. That's a Monokuma, but a totally nice Monokuma.
Which, that's a red flag.
Disclaimer: all Monokumas are evil.
Even the ones labeled as nice are evil.
Yeah.
Except for Monami, but she's not a Monokuma. She's a rabbit.
Anyway, we meet.
She just happens to get hacked by Monokuma, but the hack is really nothing outside of just get rid of her clothing and put her in a diaper.
Yeah. What? So yeah, we meet a white Monokuma by the name of Shirokuma, and it took me a stupidly long time to realize that it's Japanese for polar bear.
Technically means white bear, but...
Well, I looked it up, and I got fucking polar bear, so that's what I got.
Yeah, because, of course, the combination of white bear would basically become just polar bear.
Yeah.
Japanese is a language that works on context.
Well.
So, similarly, Kurokuma means black bear.
Yeah, I knew that. Well, when I learned the same thing, actually. We'll get to him in a bit, because we haven't met but Shirokuma has an annoyingly high-pitched voice that made me think it was a girl, and it turns out it's a boy. So sure. She also shares the same voice actor as Junko. So, does that mean anything? You'll see. I hope there's another cannon. Anyway, we meet...
Isn't that a cannon? The sun daughter?
Ow.
Just run for it.
I don't know why I did that. This is a bubble launcher. Maybe. I didn't get up there. Oh no, bubbles are being launched from up there. I'm gonna have to triple jump. So yeah, we meet the underground resistance base. Which is in a subway. And get this, it's underground. That's every resistance base is. As it should be obvious in Okay.
Okie dokie.
Okie dokie. And then we meet, the mother of one of the characters.
Hagakure.
Hagakure. Her name is Hiroko.
And Hagakure proves to have a mother that looks nothing like him.
Well then. Then who's the father? Probably some random guy, if I had to guess. Or dead, if anything.
I mean, yeah, at this point, probably.
Yeah. Uh-oh. And then we meet another fan favorite character, totally. The leader of the resistance, Hachitoa.
This fucker.
Everyone loves him. I'll get to that in a bit. But anyway, Chapter 2 boss fight is against, I believe, Jotaro, the art guy.
You might not want to. You might want to just aim for the trade.
Okay. That's still a shot.
Yeah, because you aim for. It's right above you. I don't know why you keep trying to aim that high.
I don't know. There's another cannon right here. Okay. There's another cannon up there, so I'll just get that. So Jotaro, I don't have anything to say about that. Okay.
His gag is that he thinks he's ugly, but in reality he's beautiful because his parents hate him. His mom hates him, really.
Yeah. And then Chapter 3 happened, which is the chapter that makes me question how it got past the ESRB.
Hey, shouldn't you be opening that thing first?
What thing?
The chest behind.
Ah. Okay, I'm not. Oh, that's a star. Or block. That is a star. Alright, good call. So we get a brief scene showing Monica and Kotoko interacting, and Monica, being a little shit she is, decides to intentionally trigger Kotoko with her trigger word. It's.
I remember it being like something that should technically be not perverted, but is really sleazy if you really have to think about the context of what they're saying.
And
it was like.
And I will not. I won't go too deep into it, but if you know, you know.
I'm trying to remember the word.
What's the trigger word? Or
yeah.
It's gentle.
Oh yeah. That definitely checks out for something that shouldn't be like this, but very much comes out real fucking sleazy.
Yeah. And then
probably the words she heard when she.
Don't worry, we're gonna be all gentle, is what they said.
As look, there's no sugarcoating around this.
I will not comment further.
I probably can, but I feel like Logan doesn't want me to.
And, yeah. Oh well. Anyways, I'm dead.
All I could say is that Kotoko's mom is a piece of shit who deserves every negative thing that happens to her.
What negative? I'm pretty sure she's dead.
Yeah.
So that's deserved. Alright, and then later on we get to meet fucking the black bear, Kurakuma, who's heard us like to swear a lot. Also shares a voice actress with Junko. That totally has no plot relevance.
Yeah.
We did that, and then, bam, something happens. I think Kamaru is. I don't know what exactly happened, but like, they get thrown in jail. Kamaru and Toko do.
Particularly at one point.
Oh, right.
At one point around this part,
a bunch of
Kamaru gets molested.
Well, we'll get to that. But a bunch of Monokumas follow them back to.
Was that just some of the really fucked up shit I've seen on the internet? Might be both, actually.
Yeah, a bunch of Monokumas follow them back to.
I try not to think about this game. I'm being honest here.
A bunch of Monokumas follow the game back, and then they get exposed and they get arrested. They get placed in just random chambers or rooms, whatever. And then. And then, bam, Kotoko breaks Kamaru out, saying, "I've turned over a new leaf, and
sounds like bullshit.
Yeah, I'll help you get out." And then she fucking shoots Kamaru in the ass with a teeth gun or something.
So I'm pretty sure that was a star.
You mean that star?
Tell me about the other one.
Oh, up there.
There was a block, kind of like the
yeah.
one.
I'll go check that out. So yeah, and then we get what probably the most part of all of Danganronpa that really makes me wonder how this got past the age rate system. The mini games, specifically, yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I mean, I could, but. Well, like I mentioned, I've seen some fucked up things around Danganronpa on the internet.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
There's a mini game out there, and it's about you try to slap hands away from Kamaru, and I think that should say enough.
Oh, okay, so yeah, that was that.
Yeah, and literally the achievement for beating it is keeping the.
By the way, like, I swear, the vast majority of Kamaru dojins, because I have seen them like as a teenager, and there hasn't really been much more because Danganronpa is kind of a dead franchise.
Okay.
Like the vast majority of them either revolve around sleeping with her brother, or they revolve around her getting like her mind broken through the shit that these kids put her through, or both.
Or both. Yes. I wonder if the shortcut does work. Or maybe the penguin calls you out on cheating.
I think it does, but we wanted to find something else instead.
This block is a 1-up. What's up, bitch? What do you mean?
You got here, like, after he did?
Nah. Well then. One thing to do now.
He did just come back up.
I know. But this is quicker. So, the achievement for winning that minigame is fucking keeping the ratings down. And then there's a brief mini boss fight against Tokyo where you play as Genocide Jack. And it ends with her losing a bunch of her clothing, and that made me very not want to play this game anymore. And at the end of the boss fight, he was like, I mean, don't worry, I'm actually 18, so it's all good. Which is
Wait, which one said that? Was it
Tokyo? And I'm pretty sure it's just a reference to those porn games that go like, all characters in the game are fit this 18 or older.
Well, clearly still being drawn like they're still children.
Yeah.
Like, I can understand if, like, you're saying that while using characters that are, like, originally meant to be children, but then you age the body up to clearly be adults. But, like, when you say that shit with the original body, you can tell that's still meant to be a child.
Yeah.
And I have no idea why people think they can just do that.
Because.
Oh yeah, because they're drawings, and we're probably thinking way too hard about something that shouldn't really be thought about.
Well, it's our opinions, and we're allowed to criticize stupid shit.
Then there's the fact. Then there's people who criticize like adult women for being small. So I don't know if there actually is room to criticize her.
And then we get the later.
That's not even. It's so common to like. If there is an adult woman who looks even slightly like she's short or anything like that, there's going to be tons of people who would fantasize her to make it seem like she's like, you know, literally a child, even though she's not. Look at anyone who's ever had to any of those women who specifically I'm thinking of one person, that one woman who cosplayed as Tatsumaki. Because she has that actual body type, which is very short and small. She's an adult woman, and then there are people who like treat her like she's a kid, where she has to consistently like tell them, "No, I'm not a kid."
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can actually kind of see where the whole 18 like warning there actually deserves its merit, because yeah, there are women who literally don't look like they're like that like big in any form, but then again, those women are still like drawn to look kind of like adults.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned with Tatsumaki, who very much has the stature of like someone who's young, but outside of the original like the original webcomic, which one drew, where she's drawn to look exactly like a little kid, which is where the whole Where did this lost sassy child came from in One Punch Man? The manga drawer very much draws her to basically look like a really small woman. Here, I'll show you the major difference.
Alright.
In both cases, she's still 28.
You found my precious baby. Have this star. I'm sorry, but there's...
She's legitimately the younger, the older sister. The younger sister has a much, more adult body.
You know, there's a common recurring joke where from the carry the penguin back to the mother mission from Mario 64.
You just fucking drop it and...
Yeah, well, you see, I kind of have to do something right now, and some of you may not like it, but got anything to say towards?
Need a gallery.
Nope.
Look at the desktop. There's not many actual good images from that. Okay, but I guess I'll just use the recreation. The fucking mangaka also, whenever he's making jokes about her, he'll swap her to a much more to an art style that resembles one's art style a lot more. So she'll look like this. But she's usually drawn like this. There's a clear difference here, right?
Yeah.
Yes, she's small and her body is big, but that's clearly an adult woman.
Yeah.
So you can, yes, as much as I can see where those are coming from because there are women who look young. At the same time, you should very much draw them to look like women and not literal little girls.
What if people like little girls?
I'm sorry to say this, but y'all going to hell.
Okay, that's fair. And then after Genocide Jackbreak,
there's a reason why Kevin will look at a character like Jack the Ripper from Fate, and he'll think my daughter rather than I want to fuck her. And those are very much two things that people think when it comes to that character.
Huh.
And I'll show you.
Oof. Forgot I had to dive. Okay. After Toko rescues Kamaru, she calls her Kamaru Managi because puns are funny. And then the Kotoko boss fight happens, and Kamaru accidentally says, "We'll be gentle." And that makes her double down on her.
Because this is her appearance.
Oof. I am not comfortable with how small she is.
Yeah, the thing is, it doesn't help that she's not actually a person. She's quite literally just an amalgamation of the hundreds and or thousands. I don't remember if it's 100 or 1,000 of the sheer amount of aborted prostitute children from the Victorian era.
Fun. How fun. I'm dead.
So yeah, she's literally a wraith made up of a bunch of aborted souls.
Yeah.
And that's actually in universe why she is Jack the Ripper. She'd go around ripping up the bodies of prostitutes, trying to get back into the room so that she could be born properly.
That's something.
Yeah. Little known fact, almost all of her dialogue, whenever it comes to a master, will involve her calling them, like, their mother.
Ah.
I say this because technically Jack is an amalgam of both boy and girl souls. Just the girl one's the most obvious part. Presumably because you're more back then they were more likely to keep boys than they were girls. But also I say them because of the fact that she even if you are a boy, she will call you mommy and stuff like that.
Mommy.
Because she's literally looking for a mother. I think the weird part is when she starts talking about, thinking about doing that thing she does with, all those prostitutes she killed to you when you're a boy, and there's, no actual way for that to happen.
Yeah.
But that only really happens during, some of the story stuff revolving around, because in the story, ignoring the servants you have on hand, the story acts like the only servants you have are, the main girl, and whichever servants you stumble upon in the story. So the helpers who aren't actually part of your main party.
Yeah.
So if you encounter an enemy who is meant to not have a real natural thought about you, they'll just go back to default settings, and that default definitely involves essentially her doing that shit. But this is Fate has a bad case of definitely catering to those types of people by having those types of servants.
Yeah.
Especially when they're from the Prism Ilias series.
You aren't trying to cheat, are you? Shortcuts aren't allowed. So it does penalize you.
Yeah.
Shortcuts aren't allowed, they say, then what's this?
A shortcut.
Anyway.
Just go through it normally.
Trying. Okay, so fucking they beat Kotoko.
I guess the end of the story is don't try to fucking bullshit us with your whole TH18 thing.
Yeah.
If you're gonna write those characters to be adults and act like adults, draw them to actually be adults. Better yet, try to not do this kind of stuff with children. I don't know. There's an actual question to be made about should these types of fan arts exist for children's characters?
No.
Yeah, there is a ton of stuff revolving around Gravity Falls and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know about the incest shit.
No, not just that. That actually technically died out as the series went on.
Thank God.
Mostly because most Gravity Falls fans are now of the opinion that Dipper belongs to Pacific and stuff like that.
Okay, what the hell?
Did you not see the series?
I've seen all of season 1, and then half of season 2.
So did you ever see that the episodes revolving around her?
A little bit. I've seen the golf one, and that's all I can remember off the top of my head.
Okay, so there's another episode that she gets, and that's one where her family hires Dipper to exorcise a ghost. And part of that involves her and Dipper spending a lot of time and actually getting close to each other. By the end of the episode, it's kind of implied that they both have feelings for each other, but the series doesn't really elaborate it outside of extra material.
Yeah.
The books will tease at it, the games will tease at it, but since the series is over, they won't really talk about it. But because Dipper now has an actual love interest that is his own age and won't immediately shoot him down with Wendy, there's no need to ship him with his sister, so most people cut that shit out.
Thank God.
Say most people because there's still those
I know. People. There's always those people.
As a point of reference, I've recently gotten into Oshinoko. I brought this up before. And right now, the current most popular ship, if you go by what the fandom is acting like, is Aqua and Ruby. They are siblings.
Incest is incest, they say.
That's the thing with the internet. That actually is kind of like their main thing. I don't know. In recent years, people have gotten really into incest.
But why?
To the point where it's like the most searched upon like tag on Pornhub and stuff like that.
People still use Pornhub?
Well, not anymore, but like it was that. Nowadays they use other like sites, but the incest is still very popular.
Specifically step-family incest. I've seen a lot of.
Yeah, but that doesn't change the fact that there are people who are willing to go all the way with full family.
I know. I still question why. Does their family know about it?
Well, are you talking about the Oshinoko one, or what?
The, just like people who are into incest in general.
Well, if they're white, maybe. But, like, I think the idea here is that, like...
I'm just hyping up on this level.
Try doing it normally!
Yeah. Alright then. So, Chapter 3, they win. Chapter 4, the boss is Nagisa.
Yeah, but I was saying, like, I get the feeling that for a lot of people, this is kind of a thing that women do, and I don't say that derogatorily. I say that because there have been studies about this kind of thing, where basically they will get aroused by even the most fucked up of shit just because, well, half the time because it's taboo and fucked up and not something that should be happening.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, that's kind of one of the major reasons why people speculate that the incest thing is being popular recently. Or why so many women have, like, rape fantasies and stuff like that.
Eesh.
Yeah. It's fucked up and not something that you should really be talking about more often than not. But in general, it is kind of agreed upon that, like, people do in fact get off on just things that aren't right.
Yeah.
Like, women, like, those same studies showed that women would get aroused by basically just about anything. Be it bestiality, incest, rape, cheating, the list goes on. And if women are capable of doing that, let's be honest here, so are men.
Yeah.
If that tells you exactly why these things have become so popular, it's because people are so desensitized by the regular stuff, and I do see this a lot, where like, people talk about like how vanilla is so boring and stuff like that. So more often than not, they'll push further and further, like, just to like please their kink for just the fucking most depraved shit out there.
Yeah.
Basically, what I'm saying is, the internet's allowed most people to basically become Junko Nishima when it comes to their kink.
Well,
they will look into the most fucked up shit because they can and will get off on it.
Oh my god, you said Jay Bowser. Not like the 3D All-Stars version. I know it's not actually what he says, but
yeah,
it's too iconic to not just say that's what he says. Anyway, Chapter 4, we beat up Nagisa. I don't have an opinion towards him. Chapter 5, we learned that Monica can walk, because I somehow forgot to mention she was in a wheelchair the entire game.
Well, it doesn't really fucking matter if she's not actually, like, wheelchair bound.
Yeah, turns out...
I think the idea is that at one point she was, but she got over, like, eventually.
Man, if Smash Bros. Was like that, then Bowser would be the most overpowered character.
Except for the fact that he's slow as a brick.
I know. It's like, he was one of the worst in Melee, one of the worst in Brawl, mid-tier in 4, and I don't know where he is in Ultimate. So yeah, that's kind of the game, and it turns out Kamaro's parents are dead.
The bottom line here is the Warriors of Hope, like on a scale, range from mediocre and boring to icky and just displeasing to even be associated with, to just so infuriating that you just want them to see them dead.
Yeah.
You can sparse out which is which. Kamaru really goes out of her way to basically, like, set up just about every single fucking joke in the book when it comes to her relationship with her brother at times. And the game really doesn't help itself by the way that it treats her.
Yeah.
All the perverse shit with her really kind of like sells that whole I'm not a bro-con thing as basically just denial.
She is. She yeah. And also, 2 things during the final...
Fucking Toko improves, but not by much.
Yeah.
Byakuya isn't really a character that needs to be important at this moment because really what's important is like the anime for him.
Yeah.
And even then it's because that's when we see that he's finally changed even in like the most minute of details by how he isn't scowling when he shows up. But even then that's not much.
Yeah.
He's still a prick.
Yeah.
Is this a prick that's mellowed out?
Also, 2 things I want to bring up. When I played this game for myself during the final boss fight, 1, the game crashed on me. So, that was fun. Number 2, there was this whole section where, like, Junko has, like, the option to, like, Junko. Where Kamaru just has the option to just fucking murder Monica right then and there. And, but that's considered a bad ending. And the game eggs you on it. Just like, do you destroy the dial? Do you not destroy the dial? And they repeat this shit so many times. And it goes on and on and on.
So I know that this is like a reference to Makoto having an actual bad ending, unlike the other protagonists who don't really have one.
Yeah.
They have, instead of having an actual bad ending, what they have is fake outs. If you notice?
Yeah.
Like, the equivalent to Makoto's bad ending is basically Shuichi and Hajime falling into despair.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Makoto actually has the possibility of a bad ending, and then he's immediately woken up on the fact that that's definitely the wrong fucking answer. So, which school of thought does Kamaru follow?
Well, she falls into despair, kills Monica, and like the ending. But then it's like, then teleports you back. Do you push the dial? Do you not push the dial? And it repeats this like 8 times. I did not count, but like that's a guess. I did not count these red ones at least. No. But then I beat the game, fought the final boss, beat Bane Monokuma, and I forgot Shirakuma and Kurokuma were in the game, so that's why I did not mention them. But during the ending cutscene, they are actually AIs of Junko.
Yeah.
Which means in Danganronpa S, you can play as 5 different variations of Junko. And that's funny. You got normal Junko, Monokuma Junko, Shirakuma Junko, Kurokuma Junko, and I guess Mukuro Counter. Because...
The game sure doesn't want to treat it like a character.
Yeah.
I really do wonder how the fuck your friends don't really realize that that's not, like, Junko.
Yeah.
Because I can kind of understand where it's coming from in the, like, 3 post game.
V3.
Yeah, the V3 post game where it's like, the idea is that she's actively trying to hide herself, and because it's meant to be taking place in like an actual school, they can like just pull it off.
Yeah.
But this is meant to be like a fucking virtual reality set when they know all their classmates are there. So on some level, they definitely know Mukuro is meant to be there.
It's a sequel to that post game for V3, so yeah. Why don't they know? Man, this is why Danganronpa is bad. They don't give characters the respect they deserve.
It's more like they don't bother when it's not like the main plot.
That's right.
I should about how lazy the writing for the Danganronpa once like social links can get.
Social links.
You know what?
I know they're called bonds, but like I mean
they're basically just social links.
Yeah. I'm surprised I didn't damage. So that was Ultra the Spirit Girls. It's a game.
It is a game, and people forget it for a reason.
Yeah. I played it myself on Steam. I uninstalled it the second I finished it.
Honestly, I don't blame you.
Yeah. I'm still on Danganronpa 1. I just haven't had the time to go to it, and I've been playing Celeste instead. Much better game, by the way.
Mm.
And now, before we can hop into the next game in the
seriously, you could punch.
I know. Like, there's multiple of me, just multiple of them. Just, I'm guessing. Before we move on to the next game in the series, we've got to talk about the anime adaptations. First of all,
the first
game
just kind of rushes through the first game.
13 episode runtime.
Really need more.
When
honestly, they could have fit a full 26 episode anime.
Yeah, 13 episode runtime when it's a 20 hour game or so.
It honestly probably would have felt a lot less rushed had they just gone for they just like not rushed the entire fucking game.
But they did.
Yeah.
And now there's nothing we can do about it. Heh. That is actually how I got into the series, because my sister, making smart decisions as she is, this was 2018, so I was in my junior year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I was 16 at the time. My sister was on this magical website known as Hulu, and watching the Danganronpa anime on practically repeat. I began questioning her sanity.
I would too.
So I was like, okay, let's see what this is about. So I watched like the first 2 episodes, and I'm like, okay, I like the blue-haired pop star.
She dies.
And then she died, and I was like, oh.
No, I actually think that the anime has actually kind of negatively impacted the series.
Yeah.
Mostly because I get the feeling that a lot of the negative opinions towards certain main characters from the first game are because of the fact that the anime cut out a lot of the stuff revolving around them.
And when Danganronpa was at like surge popularity in 2020, it was only on PC, PS Vita, and PS4.
So most people were either watching Let's Plays where they had someone already firmly putting their opinion out there, making it really easy for them to just not form their own opinion.
Yeah.
Or they had the anime, which basically did nothing.
Come 2021, Nintendo Switch ports came out, at least for the first 3 games, or the trilogy, and come 2022, not at the same time, but Xbox One ports were released.
Yeah.
So now it's practically everywhere and easily accessible, which I'm glad it is.
Now, if only they could do Fate Stay Night like that.
They won't. And I remember saying they
no, it's not because Fate Stay Night is another visual novel that has certain main characters get bad reps because the only exposure they have is from anime that don't really bring out the full character of the main character. Because just like with Makoto, the vast majority of Shiro Emiya's thoughts are just and opinions are basically just purely inner monologue stuff that is cut out because they don't do that shit on anime.
Yeah.
Basically, both Makoto and Shiro kind of suffer from this guy is so bland. He's basically nothing special in any way, shape, or form. And honestly, this series would have been better had it been following the love interest instead. Just purely because of the fact that in general, most of their characterization comes from like stuff that gets cut out.
It's a shame. But like as I mentioned, people when people were getting the Danganronpa, the Switch and Xbox ports were non-existent, and so the series was not as easily accessible as it is. Coupled with the fact that physical copies are ridiculously hard to find for the PlayStation versions.
Mm-hmm.
Like I found a used copy of 1 and 2 bundle at GameStop, and even then it was $50. So, even then, I paid $40 for my physical copy of V3. And I paid $50 for my physical copy of Ultra Despair Girls.
Sounds like a lot.
Ultra Despair Girls usually goes for $30. And, what was it? V3 at the time went for $60, but since received a permanent discount to $40. Do I feel ripped off? Yeah. But yeah, that's how I got into it.
Actually, going back to the Hall of Fates tonight, to make things even worse for Shiro, unlike Makoto, who they at least sped past most of like the story, the Fate Stay Night cast gets screwed over by the fact that Fate Stay Night is a like visual novel that has 3 different routes. Like there are 3 different stories they can take.
Yeah.
Like each following like the main love interest of the route. But the thing is, the only routes that have gotten adaptations are Unlimited Blade Works and Heaven's Feel. Because the original one did get an adaptation, but it was like a long ass while ago, and it was a bad adaptation that didn't like properly do the job of an adaptation, and instead just kind of mixed in stuff from the other routes because it didn't feel like actually being true to the Fate route. So things like introduction to like elements of the world that should have been done in the Fate route don't get done in the other routes.
Yeah.
So instead, people are forced to watch Fate Zero, which kind of does that introduction stuff because it's a prequel. So it's intended to be another like entry place. But it heavily spoils twists from like later stuff, and because there are a bunch of like dude bros that get introduced to the Fate series through Fate Zero, where the main character is written by a man who's consistently been known for like loving to like write ecchi pieces of shit, and like there are those people who will always believe that the edgier something is, the more mature it is, and the better it is. Yeah. That's what Fate Zero is to Fate Stay Night, in my opinion. It's like that edgy younger brother. People say it should be the introduction because it's a prequel, and it does like have some of the introduction elements because they don't have it in the sequel series. But that's because quite literally, like the main Fate Stay Night story, like people refuse to watch the only adaptation of the Fate route because it's terrible. So for most people, they don't. Not only do they already lose out on a bunch of characterization for the main character, they also lose out on a third of the fucking story.
Yeah.
Because the way that you're meant to play the game is, you're meant to like read the Fate route, then read Unlimited Blade Works before finally reaching Heaven's Field. So you're meant to like do one after the other. You're meant to go through all 3 of them. So if you take the first one out, you're gonna be confused by the second and third one because they're gonna like reveal things from that was introduced in the original route that like has no bearing on some of the stuff going on in the next one. So they act like nonchalantly, like it's not important. So a character who was like taken out in the first route like pretty quickly is very much more important in the other routes. But similarly, characters who had most of their stuff going on in the first route are probably nowhere near as important as some of the other stuff. Like the only reason people know about some of the stuff about the other routes, about like the first route, is because some of the side material will touch upon that. Like, to a lot of Western fans, Prisma Ilia is basically the only way they know how like Ilya acted as a sibling to Shiro for a while, because for the longest while it was the only way to see that relationship. Because a good chunk of the Fate route and the Heaven's Feel route, which didn't get adapted into movies until like much later, and even then not perfectly, revolve around Shiro's relationship with his older sister. And I say older sister because Prisma Ilya does something that makes things really fucking confusing, and that's age down Ilya. Because Ilya is like in Fate, she's an 18-year-old who's stuck in the body of a little girl because she's a homunculus who physically is like, who after the war is meant to just die.
Yeah.
She quite literally they did a bunch of certain like experiments to her to basically make it so that she'd be able to win the war, and after that her purpose was no longer needed, so she'd basically just be left for dead.
Let's see.
But like that's kind of like the main crux of it all, because one of the things is she feels abandoned by her dad because after the events of the last war, he just kind of, in her eyes, never came to like pick her up or anything like that. Just abandoned her with her grandpa that she hates, because again he was the one doing all the experiments on her, and seemingly just adopted a kid out of nowhere, like essentially just in her eyes abandoning him. Especially because anytime he tried to go back for his daughter, he'd be blocked by her grandpa, and that grandpa would basically gaslight her into believing that her father just didn't care for her, because he'd like hide the fact that he was actively trying to get her out of there.
Yeah.
And like these are things that like you only really get to know in the first route, because like one of the major aspects of that route is basically having them like instead of having Ilya try to kill you, eventually her starting to realize that she actually wants to get to know you better and to see why she was abandoned, before finally realizing she was never abandoned, she just kind of was incapable of being rescued.
Yeah.
The third route does like expand even more on that stuff. No matter what, in the Fate route is the only route where she will live past the Holy Grail War. Like, one of his major motivations in the Fate route after the war is basically trying to find a way to save Ilya's life, because she's on a ticking time clock that'll basically that she's basically meant to die like a year or two after that war.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like you never get to see these types of things that are expanded upon in the epilogue of the first route, because the game treats it like as having already been something that's been established, because you've already done that route since you're not meant to not do it first. And people don't get to know this kind of stuff because unless they find out about it through fans who actually did read the visual novel, it's stuff that never gets adapted.
Yeah. Well.
And that's actually kind of like the annoying part about Prisma Ilya's aging down of Ilya. Because the weird part is the timeline actually splits on the moment where like the Fourth Holy Grail War ends. So Ilya should already be 8 by that point in time. But then they treat it like she's a 10-year-old at like when they get to the present day.
Yeah.
And when I say that, I mean literally she has the mentality of a 10-year-old. She, like, for all intents and purposes, she is 10 years old. And the story just kind of glosses over why she isn't, like, as old as she should be. Like, it kind of makes sense for her body to still be stuck like that, because that's kind of how homunculuses work. They're designed to look one appearance and not really change.
Yeah.
But there's no reason why her mind should not be at that of an 18-year-old. And like the only explanation we basically get is that her parents deliberately fucked with her mind.
Fine. What the fuck do you pull off the bed from Song Jump?
And it was like the Fate series is a clusterfuck thanks to that whole literally a giant third of the story is not something people ever look at. It's like you look at you look at the original Star Wars trilogy, right?
Yeah.
Then you skip A New Hope and start immediately on Empire Strikes Back.
Okay, I don't know why someone would do that.
That's basically the equivalent to how these adaptations work for Fate. And unless you go out of your way to try and find information about A New Hope, well, now you're just shit out of luck, huh?
Yeah.
The only thing you know is Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. And you're going to be hella lost because you don't know what the fuck's been going on. And the only thing you get is like a tiny little scroll at the beginning saying, oh yeah, this happened.
I mean, I watched them in chronological order, so prequels, original sequels.
Yeah.
And episode 4 was so fucking disconnected from every other movie. It was hilarious.
Yeah, but they still like set the basis of the world through that.
Yeah. What the fuck am I supposed to get up there? This conversation derailed.
Derailed heavily because I try not to think about Ultra Despair Girls.
We were talking about the Danganronpa anime.
Oh yeah, the anime. Basically, I have complaints about that first season. The third season's no way better.
I know.
I mean, I'd say third season like there's a second season.
Yeah, it's technically a different show.
Yeah.
I know a friend of mine.
The anime for the Danganronpa 3, it's just as
we'll get to that.
Yeah. Actually, let me go to the bathroom.
Now there's a friend of mine who's really into Danganronpa, really likes it, but fucking despises the anime adaptation.
Most Danganronpa fans, from what I can tell, do that.
Yeah. Give me 30 stars. Oh.
I don't understand.
What?
I'm thinking Danganronpa fans can hate the anime.
Right.
Hate the anime, and I have an actual joke about this. The reason I can't understand it is it does exactly what they do all the time.
Which is?
Take the original characters, dumb them down to a few minor traits, and then just make up shit whole hog.
Oh, then. Trying to backwards on them. Well, too long, don't read the anime subs. Small six. Well, and now we have the other Danganronpa anime. that exists.
Now has 3 different parts.
Yeah. Originally, the plan was to make an anime adaptation of Dangerous 2, but they were like, let's do this instead. And that worked out in their favor.
Honestly, they should have just stuck to the 2 ideas so that they could have made an actual Danganronpa 3.
Yeah.
Would have been a lot less annoying.
It would have. Well, Danganronpa 3, there are 3 arcs to this, if you want we should call them that. And apparently people insist that you watch them in a very weird order. Like, you watch episode of one arc, and then one episode of the other
Basically,
arc.
what they expect you is to watch each episode that coincided with the same week as basically just switch between shows. To be fair, though, the anime actually released in that exact same way.
I know.
So you're actively meant to do that.
I watched like an out of context compilation, and from that, I feel like I watched the entire series. Because like so much stupid shit happens, I just can't take it seriously.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So, first we got the Spare arc, which is a prequel to the games and focuses on Class 77. And here we get to meet the new teacher character, Chisa Yukizomi. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yukizomi, I think.
Chisa is a character that exists.
Chisa is a plot device that basically just is there to make Makoto kind of act horny at the beginning before it's revealed that she's a horrible war criminal.
My favorite kind of teachers.
She's also there to just die first.
Yeah. Oh my god, she's dead! There's other characters, but I don't remember their names, except for the one that looks like Yu Narukami. Even then, I don't remember his name. I just call him Yu Narukami. And I'm pretty sure every Danganronpa fan does.
I mean, I know his name, I just prefer calling him Yu Narukami. Because it's funny.
It's so funny. I shouldn't have done that. Other than that... Oh, Seiko. I think that's how it's pronounced.
Talk about Kimura?
No, the one with the face mask.
Yes, Seiko Kimura.
Kimura. And other than that, that is it. I have no intention of... I have not watched Danganronpa 3, and I have zero intention to.
Okay, so as someone who has a slight idea of how that series went, you kind of want to...
All I've seen is the out-of-context clips and the Wikipedia summary, and I feel like I've seen it all.
Okay, so basically, the series decides to split this shit into 2 series.
So the Spare arc, as I mentioned.
Yeah.
And
So-
Future arc.
How the Despair arc works is basically... Most of the time, it's just there to, like, show off just how, like... First, the fact that Chiaki was very much a real person at one point.
Yeah.
That Hajime was very much her closest friend, and let's be honest here, crush.
Yeah.
How much of a shitty friend Hajime was, to, let's be honest here, his potential girlfriend.
Come on, I need talent.
Like, he spent most of the fucking series complaining about how he has no talent, even though Chiaki is consistently talking about how she likes him just the way he is. Meanwhile, the other portion of that same side is basically just Junko going around setting everything in motion.
Doing a little trolling.
She just goes around killing people, setting shit up, and at the same time, all the stuff revolving around the shit revolving around Post Peak is also happening.
Okay.
So I guess I can go by look at the Wikipedia article, and then I'll go by episode from what I remember out of those episodes.
So,
Because, like, it happens in a very specific order, and...
Future arc is exactly what it says on the tin can. It's a sequel to Danganronpa 2. It was supposed to be a game at one point, but they switched it to an anime.
Yeah, but, like, the thing about this is, it makes a lot of sense to watch them the way that you mentioned, but it's easier to just go ahead and say what they did chronologically, because let's be honest here,
Yeah.
It involves a lot less jumping around. And really, Danganronpa, like, 3 is basically 2 different anime.
Yeah.
Like, the Despair arc and Future arc kind of don't really have anything to do with each other until the end. Hope arc.
Hope arc. So
I'll go with talking about what the fuck happened in Despair arc first, because it's... Well, functionally, it's less important. It's basically just there to show us just how close everyone was thanks to Chiaki, and how much of a shame it was that she died. Yada yada yada. The first episode starts with basically Chisa becoming the teacher of Class 77, and meanwhile, like, it establishes the relationship between Chiaki and Hajime. The next episode...
Hajime shouldn't have dealt with talent, because having the ability to just fucking ultimate right then and there is enough clout factor.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but
the second episode reveals that, like, Chisa is a mole for her, let's be honest here, like, love interest. Like, it's kind of the implication here.
I'm pretty sure she got
Munakata was implied to be the love interest for both Chisa and Juzo. That's kind of the thing. Like, both of them had feelings for him.
Yeah.
Like, basically, he wants her to spy on the school because he doesn't trust them. Rightfully, let's be honest here. It's just a shame that he's also a giant piece of shit. His redemption is basically realizing he was a huge asshole who basically got in the way of everything. Before both of his best friends are dead now, and all he's left with is essentially just regrets. Oh, and he has a fucked up face, and he's gonna go wander around the world saving people. But like, the second episode revolves around the whole like Chisa trying to get everyone to work together and be friends. It starts working, then Terra cooks.
Oh yeah, I know that. I've seen that scene.
Yoko
I
roofies everybody.
Actually, you know what? I watched that scene on Pornhub. That was my first interaction with that scene. I watched it on Pornhub.
Like, straight up, she throws an aphrodisiac in there, and everyone starts getting horny as all fuck.
I know Taylor Swift is being dropped.
At the same time, we start getting to know about Natsumi Kazuryu. You might recognize that person as that sister of Fuyuhiko that dies during the motive of the second chapter of Game 2.
Yeah.
Basically, that was about like how Kazuryu is in that game, and it's not Fuyuhiko Kazuryu, it's Natsumi Kazuryu. That's her. We basically get to meet her as she's transferred into the reserve force. We start getting to the very next episode, which is episode 3, starts talking about like it basically reveals that Natsumi does not get along with Sato, Mahiru's friend, leading to them friending the lives of each other. Hajime attempts to basically just calm them the fuck down. He fails.
Of course.
Because Natsumi refuses to basically be the... she basically has the same issue as Hajime, where she believes she's completely incapable of being around people with talent. So she wants to have a talent so that she could be around her brother. And then she's murdered.
Fun.
We get to know her for a day, and she's fucking dead.
Awesome.
Sato, clearly the one responsible, is found dead, like a few days later.
Awesome.
Hajime tries to basically find some actual information by going over to the main school to try and find information about this, because yeah, of course you'd want to if you got this involved in this kind of shit, right?
Yeah.
Only to be stopped Because Juzo is a giant piece of shit who basically is the main reason Hajime fails at being a good person. Well, not really a good person, but well, a good friend. Because Juzo is basically directly responsible for Hajime's decision to go all in on I need talent to be around like people. Like basically every single bit of like development Chiaki was thrown his way, which he like the way that he attempted to like resolve the whole Sato Natsumi thing was directly following Chiaki's advice. So basically it was working. Then Juzo beats the ever-living crap out of him for even attempting to enter the school. And Cheese and Juzo basically realized that the deaths are definitely being covered up by the main school. And yeah, like after being pissed off at like being turned away from the main school by Juzo, he decides to go all in on the Zuru Kamakura project.
And everything went downhill from there.
Episode 4 revolves around Kameda.
Okay, I've heard enough. Next
basically, in reality, the actual thing going on is Seiko Ruruka and Sonosuke are the main characters of this one. Ruruka asked Seiko for like a drug that would basically make her sweets better, but Nagito fucks it up by being around and the drugs get mixed, and then the fucking bag gets mixed. As a result, Ruruka ends up getting laxatives, and Seiko ends up fucking bombing the building.
Terrorism.
And then the drug Nagito picked up, and like the one that like he ended up making a giant dog.
I've seen that scene out of context,
which causes the bomb to blow up. Following the chaos, Seiko, Ruruka, and Sonosuke are expelled, which really makes zero sense if you think about it, because why the fuck was Sonosuke expelled? You didn't really do much about this. Nagito is suspended even though he should have been the one expelled.
Yeah, but then he needs to line up with Danganronpa 2.
Yeah. And Chisa is reassigned to the reserve course. Which, not a good thing if you think about it, because what's about to happen.
Yeah.
After spending yada yada yada, they start getting closer to the Kamakura project. Then, like, because it's been an entire year, Chisa manages to return to going back to being the homeroom teacher of 77. Luckily for her, Chiaki basically managed to keep everything afloat. But the Ultimate Animator, Ryota, has been spending all this time animating and having the Ultimate Imposter take his place. This is where we introduce Junko and Inoshima to the story.
Fine.
Yeah, her and her sister are enrolled into 78.
And apparently are incestuous with each other.
Yeah. Because, of course.
Of course. Why not at this point?
Like, it was already heavily implied that she was doing creepy shit with Mikan. Of course, she might as well be doing it with her sister too, I guess.
Why not, I guess?
Ryota collapses in fever, and he seeks out the nurse to help. Basically, this is just to kind of set up the story for this part of the year, especially because Hajime is going through the Kamakura project.
Yeah.
Hajime is, but in episode 6, Hajime has become Mizuru Kamakura. Chisa sneaks into the trustees building and she learns everything. Meanwhile, Junko and Mukuro kidnap one of the said trustees, take their eyeball, and learn about everything too, and then sneak into where Izuru is held. And Junko talks about her true talent, yada yada yada. Just tries to sway him to despair. And after she gets knocked the fuck out, she basically starts getting real excited about it all. Before she encounters Ryota, and you know what the fuck's about to happen here.
Yeah. Fun.
Junko basically tricks Ryo into showing her his mind control anime, which really tells you like the red flags around this motherfucker. And like while the Ultimate Imposter is still doing the whole pretending to be Ryota thing, Mikon is sent by him to like check up on Ryota, and then she's captured by Junko right then and there.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And I can probably tell it.
Technically, it's captured by Mukuro, but yeah. And meanwhile, Junko's having Mukuro, like Ryota, still working the anime. Later on, Junko and Mukuro break like Kamakura out of the faculty, like the facility. Can't talk. And there they take him to the old Host Peak building, and this is where the whole student council kill each other thing. And we see poor Pikachu girl, and she gets violently killed first, if I'm correctly.
Pikachu.
She has a hoodie that looks like one. Here, let me bring it up. Oh, and as this is going on, Mukuro sings a song.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they went out of their way to try and basically character assassinate her as far as they could.
Yeah, we have incest in here. Why not have this turn it into a fucking musical at this point? Am I right?
Not gonna lie, there were a lot of people who were not happy with the way they wrote her because she already had a set personality thanks to Zero. So, I mean, if
there's a damn good reason I like to pretend that Day Number 3 doesn't exist. And I know some of you saying, "Oh, that's petty and it's important to the lore." Fuck you. It's just stupid. Oh, that character. It does look like a Pikachu. Pikachu.
if I remember correctly, the funny part is like it seems like everyone dies, right?
Yeah.
But there actually was someone who survived.
Izuru.
No, this guy.
Oh.
And he survived, but then a month later, he was killed by Matsuda. Matsuda is this guy. He's from Zero.
Yeah, that's not. But I saw him.
Yeah. Basically, I guess the correct way to say it is, he's Junko's love interest, like his main one.
I feel bad for him already.
Yeah, no, they were childhood friends, and like she talks about how much she loves him, and then she kills him.
That's how you show. That's how you show you love someone. You kill them. Please don't try this at home.
That's literally her thought process. Yes.
Please don't try this at home, kids.
I'm pretty sure by that point he actually kind of hated her, but he also loved her enough that he wouldn't do anything against her.
I wouldn't.
So basically, he's a victim of Stockholm syndrome.
Fun.
Funny considering how he's a psychologist, very quickly.
Yeah.
Well, neurologist.
Neurologist.
He does brain surgery.
So wouldn't you be like a surgeon?
Yeah, I fucked that up. Anyways, Junko, after having everything happen, and then having it all be covered up by the headmaster Kirigiri, reveals it to the world, specifically the Reserve Corps students, and they start rioting.
Fun. So anarchy.
Yeah, by episode 8, Ryota realizes that Mikon's acting kind of weird. Turns out Junko combined his anime with her despair video, and at this point she has been brainwashed.
Also,
so yes, this does actually cement that Mikon's not actually in love with Junko.
No.
She's been literally hypnotized, she's brainwashed.
Also, you say Mikon's been acting weird, but Mikon already acts weird enough, and that
she acts like the way she acted in the third case where she's the killer.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, but
Yeah, like, basically she reveals to him that he did this, and then she, like, friends him, like, by saying that she'll basically have his friends all kill each other if he doesn't cooperate, so he does.
of course.
As Mukano arrives to help, yada yada yada, Nagito finally returns from being suspended. And Nagito finds the secret room where Junko and Ryoto are. While Peko holds him up, Nagito attempts to kill Junko, but Izuru stops him. Chiaki recognizes Hajime, and Ryoto escapes and runs into Chisa.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah. Chisa shows up, confronts Junko. Meanwhile, Chiaki escapes from Nagito to inform the rest of the class. And then Chisa is lobotomized by Junko into viewing the video to spare. I say that because we get to see it, and like it really just looks like she's kind of lobotomized.
Yeah.
Junko brags to Ryoto about it all, who runs away because he's a little bitch. Before she's confronted by Juzo, and Mikon pushes Chiaki through a hidden passageway when they reach Junko's hideout,
And then she
where
dies.
she reunites with Chisa.
And then she fucking dies.
Yeah, because what happens here is Junko powers Juzo, like she literally like gets him to stop by revealing that he's in love with Kyosuke. And then threatening to expose him. So basically, she outright like tells this man, "Hey, if you don't stop, I'm gonna reveal to the world you're gay," and it works. Fucking stupid.
Really.
But it's Japan, so I can understand how it worked. Meanwhile, Chisa has been brainwashed already, sends Chiaki basically through a death game. Junko forces Chiaki to go through this dungeon that's just full of traps, while the rest of the class are forced to watch, and then she dies. The resulting despair, combined with the video, basically brainwashes them, so yes, canonically, none of the main cast from 78 are actually responsible for any of the terrible shit they've done. It was all Junko, which feels kind of like a cop-out if you really think about it.
Yeah.
Because it is.
Because Junko's stupid.
Meanwhile, in her final moments, Chiaki basically spends her time trying to remind her crush who he is. Because yes, Chiaki very much cared more about that than surviving, I guess. Granted, she kind of already knew she was dead. She was fucked.
And if you think this ending is bullshit, go to the website Archive of Our Own.
This is 11. This isn't even the ending.
And if you think this episode is bullshit, go to the website Archive of Our Own and search Extra Life. You won't regret it.
You see the fact is, I remember that, like a few months after that it all happened, when I was looking through Danganronpa fanfiction.
Yeah.
I'd also done stuff like read like stories where like she survived that. I think the most notable one was one where she was saved by Izuru because the last scene
that
is...
was the one I was referring to.
Is it?
Yeah.
Huh, I didn't see it on AO3. I saw it on fanfic. So.
Oh, it's on both though.
Okay, so basically...
But I read it on AO.
Like, the story, the episode ends with Kamakura looking at Chiaki's, I guess, Galaga pin?
Yeah.
We can call it that, right? Like,
Sure.
There's no issue with that. It's meant to be
It's
that.
essentially that.
Yeah. And, basically him kind of faintly feeling something. Presumably because somewhere deep down, Hajime is there, and he just saw his crush fucking die.
I never even got a chance to fuck her. What am I supposed to do now?
Fuck Junko? I don't know.
No, you don't know.
As I said, I don't know. Beacon, I guess?
Okay. I wouldn't complain, but doing it with Recon would have its own issues.
The fact of the matter is, Hajime doesn't really have a great love interest outside of Chiaki.
Yeah.
Like, half of his class... Well, let's be honest here. Like half of the females in that class are just kind of not meant for relationships.
And
like a good chunk of them are just already taken.
You're talking about 77, right?
Yeah, like they're either already taken, like Sonia.
Yeah, or.
Well, I say taken when she's not. It's just
I know.
The story kind of acts like she is. Like the story consistently goes out of its way to try and say her love interest is meant to be Gundam, even if you can make her a love interest.
Yeah.
So you're not really meant to take that like too hard into consideration.
The girls are either
nuts, evil, or taken.
Or Hiyoko. She's her own.
I said evil.
I know, but Hiyoko could be her own category.
Yeah, just like I think Mikan's the only other one who canonically shows actual interest in him.
Yeah.
And even then, that's before everything goes back to hell for her. So she's available, but let's be honest here. I don't know how available like Hajime is with the possibility of getting with Mikan.
But Nurse Girl.
Outside of that, I think the closest thing he has to a love interest is Makiru. And even then, that's because she's basically the most normal girl there.
Normal.
She's the one least likely to act like a fucking lunatic in a middle of a relationship.
Yeah.
One of them is on that island, by the way.
I know that. I'm trying to find the canon. Or get the one. Hello?
The episode 11, I meant episode 10 when we were covering. Episode 11 because I'm pretty sure the episode 12 for this one is basically the stuff for Villa Ground Hope Park.
Yeah.
Revolves around Juzo and Chisa lying to Kyosuke by saying that Junko's innocent, which he deserved to die.
If you say Junko's innocent, I will.
I said Juzo.
Oh, Juzo? I think I said Junko.
Junko is the one that they said is innocent, but I'm saying that like Juzo is very much deserving of dying for the shit that he pulled.
But if someone says Junko is innocent, I will personally come over to your house and punch you.
Yeah. Basically, 77th graduate, spread despair. The reserve corps storm the main building and kill everyone.
And doesn't like Class 78 get locked in the building?
Yeah, like Izuru decides to have his memories of the 77th class erased.
Fun.
While also erasing all of their memories of him. In order to protect the remaining students, Gene Kirigiri locks everyone up into the school, not realizing that the two main instigators of all this are inside. And as Junko begins to plan, she becomes curious about Makoto because she'd already been proven by like Kamakura and Naito that luck is an actual variable here. And there's actually a moment where a perfect instance of Makoto's luck.
Doesn't he like slip on something that makes him gun knife?
Yeah, like he slips on something that like saves his life from a wrench that's thrown aimed at his head to kill him. While he believes that he just had a moment of bad luck, because yes, that's how his luck works specifically.
Yeah.
His luck is a weird case of any bad luck I have is in reality good luck in disguise. I mean, yeah.
You arguing with that?
Yeah. And sometime later, the episode ends basically the virtual meeting between Hajime and Chiaki.
Wow. Now I can fucking AI.
She dies too.
I know. But now I can back up the AI and put it into a robot so I can...
Instead, he just looks at a ghost very quickly.
Yeah, I know, but I like the joke that happens.
That was one of the major ways people thought about possibly saving her.
Or you can travel back in time to kill Junko.
Isn't there one at the very top with a Koopa who wants to race?
I did that one already. Oh, I need the wing cap, so I need to beat that wing, the stupid wing level. That one?
for side future, this one is a lot more like story-wise
It
because
takes place after Danganronpa 2.
it's the actual story of what's
Yeah.
meant to happen. Basically, Makoto is accused of betraying everything the Future Foundation stands for by not killing the remnants of despair. So, being a good person.
Come on, they're people!
No, they ain't!
They've been reformed! Anti-brainwashed, if that's a term. If there's a term for that. I hate the control levels. Now all wing caps will pop out of all the red blocks you find. Oh, so I didn't have to beat it, but
You might as well.
I'll try. That didn't happen. Anyway, you were saying?
Okay, basically, all this is happening, Murata is, like, accusing him of, like, being the main instigator of all this. And then the facility is attacked by a missile. When they wake up, they're now in the middle of a killing game. Monokuma's back, and Yukizome is dead. Yada yada yada. There's a new killing game where, specifically, it's basically just Zero Escape.
Another Spike Tree stuff game, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Downright to the fact that they have actions that they're not only capable of doing. For Makoto, it's running, by the way. The therapist, Miyaya Gahara, who, by the way, is actually, quickly a little spoiler, it's actually Monica.
Yeah, I know that.
The actual Miyaya is dead. And to make things worse,
When I first heard
when this was happening, I'd actually seen a dojin of Miyaya
Oh no.
that happened after the reveal, and it was a snuff one,
Oh no.
where it ends with her getting her neck snapped.
I don't like where that's going.
Yeah, and that was basically the idea that like someone
Actually,
came up for how Miyaya was like replaced.
I think I might.
Because Monica does say Miyaya is dead.
Yeah,
Like she's just straight up dead.
I think I might have seen that one actually.
Yeah. Tries to hack him with the Usami program. Monokuma hacks back. Juzo starts being a violent asshole to Ryota, who deserves it. The farmer Daisuke, who has a face that I'd rather not talk about, ends up triggering his forbidden action and dies. And Kyosuke and Juzo both accuse Makoto of being the traitor, attempt to kill him. The Great Gozu stands up for him, and Aoi and Miyaya basically escape with Makoto. However, after everyone's asleep, Makoto wakes up to discover Aoi is dead with a knife to the chest.
Ooh.
Before it's revealed that Aoi faked her stabbing, not realizing that it's a terrible idea to pull pranks like this in a fucking killing game. Only to discover that the Great Gozu is actually dead.
Fun.
Hoping to prevent anything more, he tries to round up everyone to try and stop all this. He goes through the intercom, but meanwhile everyone else is taking out their petty bullshit and trying to kill each other. Seiko and Ruruka basically hate each other, and Ruruka is being helped by Sonosuke. Juzo goes after Kyoko, who is with Ryota, and the chairman Kazuo Tengen. Kyosuke believes Makoto lacks the despair to make his words credible, and attacks Makoto. I say this specifically word for word from the Wikipedia article, because I'm going to say this right now. Kyosuke is a fucking idiot who doesn't understand how the world works. You don't fight fire with fire, you fight it with fucking water.
Yeah.
What the fuck do you mean you don't have enough despair to fight despair? Motherfucker, you don't fight despair with despair! He's an idiot.
I know. I can tell.
Anyways, episode 4, yada yada yada. Kyoko ends up with a sprained ankle, but Ryota's there to help. Kazuo manages to knock out Juzo. And Kyosuke manages to capture Makoto, announcing that he's about to execute him. Specifically to lure out the attacker. What?
What?
Yeah. He's an idiot, and he doesn't realize what's actually going on. He explains to Makoto that the traitor is using the kill. May choose to end the killing game prematurely and frame more of the leaders for the crimes. Even though one of the leaders is very much the criminal here.
Hi. Good.
Ready?
Give us a bit.
How much is it?
10 minutes, maybe?
Alright, so we're running a quick errand. I'll be back in like 15, 20 minutes.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay, I'll try to speed run this from now on.
Alright. You can always say feed free for next time.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely.
This is the shortest Dana with free discussion on YouTube.
Yada yada yada. He talks about how Makoto will be manipulated into destroying the Future Foundation, even though if anyone's destroying it, it's fucking him. Feeling everyone, including him, should die in order to prevent this. Again, he's a fucking moron. Kazuo confronts Kyosuke. Yada yada yada. Makoto, Kyoko, and Ryota escape with Ali and Miyaya, and along with Koichi Kizakura, the scout, Hope Speak, look over the corpses, pondering about the attack of Monos, yada yada yada. Kyosuke and Kazuo have a fight where Kuzo dies, like he's impaled by debris.
Yeah.
And Juzo attacks Makoto Naoi before it's revealed that Miyaya is a robot controlled by Monica, who definitely killed the original.
Yeah.
Hopefully not in the way that fucking Dojin said, because that was really fucked. The Danganronpa fandom is a hive for just the worst types of Dojins.
Weirdly large amount of incest.
Yeah. It doesn't help that there's an actual character in canon who has incestuous feelings.
Multiple.
Yeah, but like one who outright states she does.
Yeah.
Leon's cousin. Who's like canonically actively in love with her cousin.
I was thinking of Perenio, but that works too.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like the original trilogy.
Trilogy.
Did you honestly count V3 as a part of the rest of the series?
They consider it as part of it.
I know, but really it's completely separate.
I know.
Episode 5 revolves around Seiko, Haruka, and by the end of it, Seiko is dead.
R.I.P.
Yeah. And Yasuhiro was trying to get into the building, by the way.
Did they lock him out?
He was outside. But it's revolving around a twist that was later shown up. After analyzing the body of Great Gozu, it's revealed that Sonosuke is also dead, and they soon come across afraid Haruka. Makoto realizes that the game doesn't really actually prohibit anyone from escaping, and then he gets into contact with Byakuya to tell them all about this.
That's a good idea.
Before Byakuya tells Makoto that this isn't actually being broadcasted, meaning it isn't the usual MO of the Monokuma stuff, where he usually broadcasts that stuff to the outside world.
Yeah.
Because he wants everyone to see this. So something's up. What was on? Yeah, the rest of the episode revolves around the Toa City crew. Before, like, basically, it's just Byakuya and Toko and Kamaru going after Monica.
Yeah.
Like, while also revealing to the audience that the fleet of battleships are approaching Jabberwock, while Hajime is still with the eyes of Azura Kamakura, just waiting. Episode 7's mostly about the whole Ultra Spirit Girls thing, and Monica leaves for space to just become a NEET.
Because that makes sense.
Yeah. Kamaru contacts Makoto, relaying Monika's warnings. Basically, someone who survived the original Killing game from the first game is going to die, and Makoto survives.
I wonder who that someone is.
Yeah.
Clearly, they would not shoot it out and not have the balls to kill off.
Juzo, as everything's going on, everyone else is kind of dealing with that in episode 8. Ruruka fails to brainwash Juzo with her sweets. Kyoko deduces that Ruruka is the one who killed Sonosuke, who actually died from his Bengal's poison after eating one of her sweets.
Yeah.
Kyoko then realizes Sonosuke found the secret exit. And it turns out Ruruka's secret action is letting anyone escape. So basically, she killed her boyfriend to survive. Byakuya managed to break into the facility, and that sets off a bomb. Episode 9 reveals that the secret exit turned out to be a dead end. And it turns out, in reality, the entire game has not been taking place in the main HQ like they thought, but rather a completely identical facility underwater. Ain't that stupid? How the fuck did they How?
Okay, this is the first time I'm hearing about the underwater bullshit.
Yeah. They had the resources to basically completely replicate their HQ underwater.
And they also had the time and energy to drag every single one of those underwater.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Makoto and Naomi meet up with Kyoko and Ryota, and then Ruruka is killed by the attacker. Upon waking up, Makoto realizes that Kyoko is dead because she allowed Makoto to survive past the fourth time limit. Kyosuke calls out Makoto, wanting to settle this once and for all. Yada yada, Kyosuke begins hunting Makoto. Makoto tries to set up traps, it fails. Makoto manages to lure Kyosuke into the locked room, giving them the opportunity to talk. Kyosuke reveals that Kazuo's final message that the attacker is not merely one person, but in fact all the Future Foundation, presenting evidence that Chiso was a remnant. Despite hearing this, Makoto's like, I'll feel glad to admit, basically, he doesn't care, leading Kyosuke to realize just how much he cared about Chisa, which basically means he's been in love with her the entire time, but at no point did he ever care to actually tell her.
Yeah.
Kyosuke loses the will to fight. Aoi appears with Kyoko's notebook, which reveals the truth about the attacker. It turns out everyone was committing suicide. Because the attacker was actually the despair video that Junko made.
Let's see.
During this time, Makoto has the others basically time up to go through the video, and just as Makoto's about to go through with the whole killing thing because he's about to fall, Juzo, who would Manchikov his own hand along with the bangle with the poison thing, basically shuts it all down. And Juzo further reveals that he hates Makoto for being the one to defeat Junko, because that means he couldn't get revenge. Makoto reports his findings. Kyosuke tells everyone about that the game was likely set up by Kazuo, meaning the main bad guy has been dead since episode 4.
Fun.
Juzo brings himself to the power to shut off the power and dies. Meanwhile, Ryota is confronted by Makoto over the techniques used. Basically, Makoto confronts Ryota about the whole brainwashing shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ryota explains everything. He decides to make a Hope video that'll brainwash everyone into following Hope, using it to control Aoi and have her hold Makoto back. Makoto soon realizes that Kazuo was his main plan. His main plan was actually to have Ryota use this Hope video to brainwash everyone. And as Makoto's Kyosuke, the survivors get attacked by brainwashed soldiers. Kyosuke battles to give time. Aoi is shot and forced her to stay behind. Makoto is cornered before he's rescued by Byakuya and Hagakure. And Hajime finally arrives to begin his moves. Makoto races to stop it all. Hajime confronts Ryota, and basically he convinces him to stop. Shifting, and then Hajime takes and the rest of the remnants take responsibility for the killing game. Makoto is left in charge by Kyosuke. Kyoko survived because of an antidote Seiko had made.
Because of course that makes sense.
Honestly, it kind of does if you think about it. Why the fuck would Seiko not try making a cure during that time?
Yeah, but like an anti-death antidote.
No, the idea is that she took it right before she would have died, and basically had the anti-poison already in her system before it happened.
Mm.
She was basically just knocked the fuck out.
Dumb move still.
Yeah, so essentially she just kind of faked her own death. Wasn't really dead. Months later, he's now the headmaster of Hope's Peak, which means they learned absolutely nothing. And then there's an OVA called Nagito Kameda and the Destroyer Worlds, which,
I know that one.
which basically is meant to take place during the whole anti-brainwashing of the virtual world.
Yeah.
And we get to see how Nagito views the world, including the way he views Makoto as this fucking Giga Chan or something. Basically he views Makoto as this really confident, brilliant person. It's just hilarious if you stop to look at it.
Maybe I should touch my hair.
It was called Danganronpa 2.52.
I know that. I'm stuck.
Let me see if I can find the...
I've watched it. Cause
I want to find the...
It's on YouTube.
Basically, the main goal of this is basically just to allow it to all happen. Look at this shit.
I hate that. Does this mean that Nagito is a Makoto Sayaka shipper? Probably.
Honestly, it kind of makes sense because he's so excited to meet Makoto too. If you notice,
yeah.
But it makes sense that his worldview basically just has it so that he's basically incapable of viewing Makoto as anything other than the perfect human. Because he's the ultimate hope. He stopped Junko. He actually succeeded where everyone else failed.
I still don't like the guy. So in conclusion, Danganronpa 3 exists.
It is a thing. People are not happy with it.
Even though I don't like to acknowledge its existence, it exists.
And I'm not gonna lie, there are more than a few times where it pissed me off.
Hello? Okay. Almost. Okay. Just a minute. Okay. Well, we're done. And I don't know if we'll ever continue this, so,
See ya.
see ya. Enjoy this 2.5 hour one-off, I guess.